am Gerald Alder from the Division of Student Services and Development, and today I am joined by a dynamic cross-faculty team of academic and faculty experts who are all here to explore the very important topic of academic readiness with you. And of course, they are here to introduce you to the fundamentals of a critical process to your learning experience at the UWI that you will soon come to know as academic advising. Today, we are coming to you live from the UWI St. Augustine campus in beautiful Trinidad and Tobago. So shout out to all of our regional and international students. For students that are joining us for the first time, we say welcome to FYE, your official first year experience at the UWI St. Augustine. And of course, to those students that were here with us as last week's session, and perhaps you've spent the last 4 weeks with us at Smart Start, we are definitely not forgetting to acknowledge you. We say welcome back and thanks for joining us again. We are truly, truly, truly honored that you have all made the UWI St. Augustine campus your choice for learning. And of course, through the FYE program, we are committed to ensuring that you have a successful first year of study and that you have a dynamic and truly rewarding university experience, all right? So our FYE Starts Out program is all about meeting your informational demands. And of course, last week, we looked at the campus experience beyond the classroom. For persons that were here with us last week, you would have gotten valuable information on the many resources and support services and campus activities and developmental opportunities that are available to you right here on our campus, all right? Today's agenda is equally exciting as we have the pleasure of welcoming various leaders and representatives from each faculty at our campus to spend some time with you, introducing you to academic advising, what this process is, and of course, they will guide you on the steps involved to help strengthen your understanding and lead you to gaining maximum benefit. So we'll begin this afternoon's presentation, or this afternoon's program rather, with a presentation on academic readiness from our campus's faculty development expert, Dr. Justin Zephyrine. And this will be followed by breakout sessions where you would get to meet and engage with members of your faculty and of course, ask any related questions that you may have. So as always, students, we invite you to engage with us in the chat. Let us know that you're here, you're logged on, that you are enthused, just as we are to be welcoming you to campus. And of course, when not speaking, we ask that you keep your microphones muted. So now that you've been briefed and you've heard quite a lot from me, you know what to expect today. It's my pleasure to invite our very first presenter this afternoon who will explore academic readiness, and he is Dr. Justin Zephyrine. Dr. Zephyrine, over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alder. Definitely a pleasure to be here, and I just want to say thank you as well for inviting me to this this particular event. I don't take it lightly because you know, quite some time ago I was also a first year student at the University of the West Indies. So, and I know for me back then it wasn't an easy experience per se. So I think this is very much a timely initiative. So thank you to all the organizers. So welcome everyone once again to this session. It's going to be very hands-on. It's going to be, you know, I want to make it a little informal so I can get some feedback from you, some responses from you regarding certain things, your expectations, your thoughts on certain things, your ideas even, and even your questions, yeah? So let's get straight into it. So, and just to make sure everyone, you can hear me, okay? Just making sure, all right? Yeah?
Yes, we can, Dr. Zephyrine.
All right, so let's get straight into it. So today we're going to look at this particular segment, at least, we're going to look at academic readiness. And when we think of academic readiness, we are thinking of your preparedness to, as you embark on this journey of university life. And I say university life because university life is it's multifaceted, it's multidimensional. Yes, it's an academic institution, but I want you to see it more as an institution, this institution, as one that is geared towards your all-round development and to really prepare you for the world out there. All right. So let's get into it. first things first, I want to just congratulate you, all of you, on this milestone. This is no easy feat. So I think congratulations are in order. And you have made it thus far. And I think it's, with all after this presentation, hopefully, you will have the necessary skills and knowledge and all that you need to be equipped with to make it through your program at the University of the West Indies. All right. So just an overview for today's segment. We're going to look at general expectations of your first year experience. As a university student and so on. What do you expect to see? What do you expect to experience? What do you think it will be like? Thoughts and different things. Some mistakes or challenges that you might encounter along the way. And the reason we say mistakes, just to kind of, there's a saying, to be told is to be forewarned. So, we just want to be mindful of that and really provide you with the necessary information and skills that you need to navigate your way, and not just navigate, but to excel through your program at the University of the West Indies. And then we're going to look at some healthy practices. I have a little more than 5, but that's okay. Some tips that you can consider and implement as you embark on this new chapter. All right, so before we get started officially, I just have a few questions that can be accessed through the links in the chat. And once you click on it, it should take you to a page, and you can let me know in the chat if you can access it, if you've gotten through, and we can take it from there. All right. So as we do this, before we go forward, I want us to kind of pause, just take a pause a little bit, and think about some things before we put things into action and move forward. So, and these questions are going to prompt you to think about your experiences thus far, and what are your sentiments, your thoughts on the way forward. Yeah. So, was everyone able to access the links and whatnot? Yeah. Okay, great. So let's go straight into it. Nice. So I'm very excited about this group. So now that you're officially a university student, what are your thoughts or feelings about this milestone? Someone said they're excited, they're confident. Very nice. It's a milestone indeed. Yes. Culture. I'm assuming new culture that you might be exposed to, and you're some persons are anxious or nervous. All right. Clearly, most persons are excited and nervous. Mr. Aldo, I don't know if that's a good thing, right? That they know some of them are nervous. Now, the bigger words mean that most people seem to be using those words. So most persons seem to be anxious and nervous. Some people seem to be relieved, but most persons are excited. So that's good. That's good. So the next question, let's move on to the next question. And hopefully by the end of this session, you might be a little more at ease. This presentation is by no means meant to make you nervous or worried. And this whole event is meant to make you more comfortable, much more comfortable as you chart the way forward. All right. Some persons are wondering, some persons are worried. Don't worry, we got you covered. We got you covered. All right. What are some expectations you have as a university student? I'm not quite sure. I am just open to everything. Okay, that's a good approach. To do well, to maintain a 4.0 GPA. Okay, wow. I like those goals that, you have certain goals, and that's good because they keep you motivated to do well and become more balanced. That's a key word. You'll hear me say that a couple of times during the course of this presentation. Balance. Sleepless nights, but a good time. To be more independent, mature. Somebody said to grow, to gain knowledge. Nice. I expect to take part in football and other social activities while balancing my work Good. I like that we see that word again, balance. Balance. That's a recurring word in this presentation as well. Meeting new people, making new friends, growth, understanding the work environment, as well as preparing to enter and face them. Excellent, and meet lifelong friends. That is true. New experiences and good grades. Good. Make a lot of friends. Good. And academically, socially, and holistically develop it. That's what you're talking about. Balance, right? To gain some independence. Okay. I'm guessing independence in terms of, get a secure job, a suitable salary, and so on, so you could live more independently. Hopefully everyone is friendly, hoping conveniences are there to learn or make friends and grow into a well-rounded person to make my parents proud. Notice some of the key things that we have here. To make new friends, to obtain balance between work, schoolwork, and other things, to make your family proud, all right? So that relational aspect again, to become more independent or self-sufficient. So that's about self-development. So, and I would better to say holistic development, because all of these things are geared toward, and your entire time here at the university is geared toward making you a better person, a better you, a better individual, a more well-rounded individual. So it's about your holistic development, the emotional, the relational or social, the academic, the professional, etc. All right, so very good, very good. Thank you for these responses. So I have one more. Regarding this journey in your academic or career development, what are some things you are excited about? Growing as a person and learning more about myself. Excellent, very good. Extracurricular activities. I'm assuming that's the football in the midst here. I'm excited to experience everything there is to experience at UE clubs. Good balance. So we have that. Good. Become a success and accomplish my goals. Good. To have new opportunities, meeting new people. Nice. To experience UE life on the whole. Very good. I like that because that's all round. Graduation. That is important. When I was at the first year orientation, I remember someone was presenting and said something along the lines that in the midst of all that you get involved in at the university, your main goal is to yes, for your holistic development, but at least, what should be one of your primary goals is to really finish that program and get that degree, get that certificate or whatnot. So that kind of keeps things in check. So you're not here much longer than you initially planned. Yeah, at least you have that long-term goal that you're working towards. Finding my purpose. That is a nice one. I like that. Finding my purpose, because this is a good juncture, a good time in your life where you might be. It will determine the next couple steps in the foreseeable future. Yeah, to join clubs, to grow as a person, and the independence that I would have. Nice. Learning, and that is something that continues throughout life. You know that, right? It's something. Yes, we're an institution for higher learning and so on, but it's something that you never stop doing, and you should never stop doing. And I have provided some tips that would speak to that. So, we all have certain we come to this institution with certain experiences, certain a wealth of experiences, both good and not so enjoyable. Let's say it like that. All right. And but I want to manage expectations. Take this time to manage expectations. To say, let's start doing that by saying what it is not. All right. What it is not. It's not just about it's not going to be easy. First things first. It's tertiary level education. So you could expect stress a little bit of stress. Somebody said that in the survey just now. There is going to be a little bit of stress, but it's going to test your ability to manage that stress and to still function and excel under that pressure. And you know what? That pressure is going to, once you've done that, to overcome and function and excel under that pressure, It's going to make it easier when you eventually leave the institution and you go into the world of work and you build your family if you haven't done so before. And you're able to once you've gone through the stress at this level, it equips you. You get more stamina to take a little more stress or to handle yourself under pressure. You don't have to know everything. That's what we're here for, right? Yes, it's an institution for higher learning and so on, but you don't have to know everything. It's okay to be wrong sometimes, and it's okay to admit when we might be wrong sometimes. And it's okay to ask for advice because you don't know everything. We don't know everything. We have the team here as well. They're all things that we do not know. And that's why learning is a continuous lifelong process. It's not just a party life. Yes, there might be times where you might go and you might enjoy yourself a little bit, but it's not just about, that's not all things. Someone mentioned independence. We can assimilate that to freedom, total freedom. It's not just about total freedom because we know with freedom, great freedom comes great responsibility. All right, I kind of paraphrase there, but so it's not just okay, I'm free now and I could do whatever I want, and but there will be consequences, there will be parameters within which you should function. So it's not you shouldn't be excessive in anything. You want, again, balance. All right, and I have there, it's not like before, meaning that yes, you have experiences that you bring to the fore. All right, but be open to new experiences. This is an opportunity for you where you will be exposed to different things, different people, different experiences, etc. And you have to be open to that. All right. And then added to that is the whole recent pandemic that we've had. And yes, now it's easing up a little bit, but that education will not be the way it used to be, at least on this level. All right. So we just want to get adjust those expectations, what it is not. But let's talk about what you can expect. All right. And right off the bat, it requires hard work. I'm not even going to lie, it requires hard work. Added to that, it requires you can expect new experiences. All right. New experiences, whether they be pleasant or not so pleasant experiences. But they all help to your overall holistic development. New networks, in other words, new people, new, yes, there's Facebook, yes, there's, social media and social networking sites, but you also have the opportunity right here to meet and connect with new people and expand your network, which might be beneficial to you when you go out into the world of work. All right. So take advantage of that. And of course, you can expect to develop new skills. So you're going to encounter hard work, new experiences, opportunities to build new networks, and opportunities to develop new skills. And like I said, it's all about balance. Balance, balance, balance. You might feel like you might be on that lower rock right there. But by the end of this experience, you would be able to balance so many things that you might even be impressed at by yourself. So yes, while we're in an academic institution, you also have other things to balance, your relationships, your time, your other things that you need to manage. All right. So in terms of managing expectations as well, you're going to learn a lot about, you can expect to learn a lot about your field of specialization. So for example, the latest research, the latest theories or foundational theories, and overall trends and so on in your field. So if you're in linguistics, for example, you're going to learn about the most recent phenomena in linguistics. If you're in engineering, you might learn about certain things, let's say civil engineering. So you might learn about certain structures and techniques in building different things. All right. And if you're in law, you might learn about different laws, and even in IR, you might learn about different human rights and so on that may emerge with the trends because everything evolves with time. Then you will learn a little bit about yourself, a lot about yourself, I should say. Your ability to manage your time, your commitments, your personality. You'll get to know more about yourself. Some things will test your patience, right? Your patience will be tested, whether it's from, handling different situations, different due dates and assignments, and even dealing with people. All right. And it would require some sort of self-control. And then, of course, you will have to learn about people through your relationships, You might encounter some offenses. You might offend people even. And then because you're in a place where you have freedom or independence, you're going to be exposed to things, to triggers that you didn't even know that you had. So I'm just saying the all-round thing. So the overall experience. So you learn a lot about yourself, the persons you have in your circle who might influence you or who you might influence. All right. So keep that in mind. And really, it's all about learning about life lessons. All right. That's what this experience is preparing you for. But you also have to be aware of certain mistakes or challenges that may come up along the way. All right. So you want to be mindful of these things. And like I said, to be foretold is to be forewarned. So you're going to expect to make mistakes. We're also talking about expectations. Expect to make mistakes. Expect failure along the way. Expect shortcomings to be revealed along the way. All right. That is part of the process. Don't be afraid. That is part of the process. But you know what is also part of the process? The opportunity to correct those mistakes, to learn from them, and to build and to become a stronger, a wiser, and a better person. Right. And this is including academics and other things, relationships, everything. All right. You're going to make mistakes at some point in time. And you will be given opportunities to correct those mistakes or to make amends and to become a better you. Some other mistakes include a lack of planning and preparation. So, the saying that for some people might know this, is Vikey vai, meaning it's arbitrary. You can't get through university life just, by however it hang is how it swing, as you see. No, there is some planning that is required, which is why you will be, you'll undergo academic advising and so on subsequent to this segment, because it's about planning the way forward. All right, even in terms of your program. Another thing is, you might be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid. Remember, you're not expected to know everything, and you're here to learn from each other, to learn from your faculty, to learn from others, to learn from experiences as well. Sometimes you might think that, okay, you want to do this alone because you don't want to get distracted. So you want to you're a loner and you want to, and that's okay to an extent. But you cannot go through this experience by yourself or being a loner. You will have to interact with someone, and that helps to have someone even to vent to help remind you, to give you some sound advice, to help remind you of certain deadlines and so on, and due dates and assignments. A lack of balance, that's a big one. Remember, it's all about balance. And I think I have that more than once here for emphasis. The assumption that you know everything, you must know everything. No, that's right? You're here to learn. The fear of failure, like I said, failure is part of the process. And if you manage it, you learn, you become a lot stronger, you become a better you. All right. An example is I failed, of course, already in UV. It was traumatic for me, but because I tried so hard and whatnot, but it happened. And you just have to learn to deal with it. All right. And not let your emotions take over. And, you do irrational things. You come to terms with it. You go through the process and you take another shot at it and excel. A lack of discipline. So you want to make sure you have that discipline and self-control and that sort of thing. And of course, we have balance there again. And the reason for that is because, yes, it's hard work, as I mentioned before, but, you must have balance. You must have balance. You work hard, but you should also rest. You should also have a time for relaxation and to relieve that stress. All right. So it's really about getting that balance as we speak, as I mentioned before. Balance. So that's a key word in this presentation. The next thing is about success. So let's talk about how to be successful. At the very least, you're gonna have to. I just wanted to put this slide to kind of orient you to the three main platforms ICTs that you're gonna use during your time at the university. Banner to register for your courses and so on, to view your grades, etc. My Learning to access your course materials and so on, and to submit assessments, and Zoom to attend lectures and view recordings and so on. So those are the three things that you need at the very least. All right. Now, there are cases where you would have a blended course, and a blended course is just where you have a combination of face-to-face and online materials. And in some cases, it might be 100% online. Some courses might be like that as well. So you have a variety of courses. Some of them might be wholly face-to-face. All right. So yes, to answer that question, I'm going to call you by the name, Masterman. Yes, you're going to have face-to-face classes, but you're also going to have online, and a combination of, it could be, it could vary. All right. So at the very beginning of your class or your course, your first class for each course, you want to make sure you know that very early. And one way to do that is just look at your course outline. It's going to be there, whether it's online, whether it's your course outline, will reveal whether the course is online, blended, or face-to-face. All right. Like I said, online is 100% online, virtual. Face-to-face is in class, like a physical classroom. And blended is a mixture of the two. All right, like a little bit of online material and a little bit of face-to-face. So you want to visit your course site every day, even if it's in a blended context. I would recommend about 6 to 8 hours a week at least, so that way you are kept up to date with any sort of Brandon. Yeah, but it's not going to be as bad as you think. It's not going to be as bad as you think, because there are some cases where the physical interaction would be beneficial to you as well and would make the learning more meaningful. Yeah. Yes, you will. All right. So you want to devote that time. Interact with your classmates through, discussion fora, class activities. I would even recommend if you want to create a small WhatsApp group of some of your classmates and so on. So you have that community of learners that I like to call, that would support each other and that sort of thing. Don't procrastinate. Don't stick, as we say here. Complete your tasks on time. You're not going to start to prepare an assignment the night it's due, because then you don't know what could happen in terms of connectivity and so on. And of course, plagiarism, we don't support plagiarism. So I think that goes without saying. All right. You want to also have a study plan. That helps. Remember, I said that you can't go by or, arbitrarily. You want to make sure you have a plan. And this is not just for your courses and your classes and so on. I would recommend having a practical plan that incorporates all of your activities, your whole schedule. So if you go to the gym, if you go, regularly and so on, you want to incorporate that into your timetable or your schedule. So it keeps you on track. It keeps you focused. It doesn't mean that you wouldn't change it here and there as you go along, but at least you have some sort of order, some sort of structure, because you don't want to wait until you get all these assignments and have to do all these classes and all these things, and you feel overwhelmed. All right. Have a healthy network, a close-knit group of friends who, just about 6 persons, for example, in your inner circle, who are also doing the program, so you can support each other. Identify your learning preference. There's a VARC. You can do a quick Google search of it, a VARC link, and we could probably provide it to you subsequent to this session, where you get to determine your learning preference. Your learning preference might be, you're a visual learner, an oral or kinesthetic or reading type of learner. So once you know that your dominant learning style, you kind of navigate, how to navigate to maximize learning. Set some boundaries. You can't go willy-nilly. You can't always be lying with your friends. You have, to set boundaries in terms of when you would need to focus and settle and do some work. Have some stress relieving times and activities like going to the gym, as I mentioned, or going to the mall or shopping or what have you, things that give you joy, that allows you to relieve that stress. And of course, don't be afraid to ask for help. Academic advising, which we have subsequent to this presentation. So really, you want to manage your time, your relationships, your work. All right. Once you manage those things, you're going to get academic success. That's almost without a doubt. All right. So relationships can't overpower the amount of time you spend at your work and so on, and the time you give to that and so on. So you want to be mindful of these things. And of course, like I said, balance. So just before we wrap up, just about continuous learning, we're here to continue our learning and to really develop. And it doesn't stop here. It would continue even when you go into the world of work. Learning is a continuous thing, as it should be. And in this world, this current society, 21st century education, learning you can learn from different things. You can learn from, yes, books, but you can also learn from computers and different platforms. You can learn from social networks and all these different things. So never be afraid to expose yourself to new information or new knowledge, relationships, perspectives, experiences. And really, the University of the West Indies provides that space, and I would venture to say safe space, where you could learn about these things and really continue to grow. That said, you want to be able to find a mentor, someone who's advanced in the field, like our academic advisors here, the team here. If you need new research, there's a library. There's online, of course. You could always learn online, and we know this. You can learn from other people. And don't be afraid to even, you might be in one program like engineering, but don't be afraid to learn something outside of your field, like a foreign language, so learning is continuous. And above all else, you just want to be, we used to have something called BUE, and that's exactly it. You want to be collaborative. In other words, you want to work with other people. You want to be practical in all that you do, not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, put in the work. You want to be creative, be able to explore things, venture into different things and discover new things. That's part of the creative process. And be willing and open to work. Yeah. Desiree, that we will answer that in just a bit. There's a team of advisors here who will also help you. All right. So don't worry. For those of you who said you were anxious, don't worry. You got this. We're here to help you. All we require is that you stay motivated. And you'll get through. Stay motivated, disciplined, balanced, all those keywords, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Any questions? Yes, you've got this. Yes. Always remember, when you go through those stressful times, like I said, they will come. Just, you reel it in, reel the emotions in, and just know that you've got this. You've got this. Many have gone through and succeeded, and you are no different. You will succeed. Ariel, you got this, man. It's not as hard as you think. Just pace yourself. Any other questions? While we're on that, and we did mention it could be you're gonna have some hurdles or stress and so on. There are different avenues that will provide support. The DSSD is one of them. DSSD, in fact, the same department that's putting on this event. You can go to them. You can go to the psychology unit. So there are different resources at your fingertips that would help you along the way. If it's IT related, you go to the campus IT services. If it's, so you have a range of resources that can help. All right. So thank you so much for having me present here today. And definitely, these are some keywords. Be creative, be practical, be collaborative, communicate with other people, socialize. All right. And thank you once again.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Zephyrine. I'm seeing our very engaged students also expressing their gratitude in the chat. We're happy that you spent the time. Thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. Thank you, sir. We're getting the expressions of gratitude coming through.
You are most welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Zephyrine. And I mean, such important nuggets of wisdom that you've shared. And I really trust that students, you have taken a note of the things. Dr. Zephyrine just took us through a whole strategy. And I think that it's a strategy that certainly prepares you for success. All right. So Dr. Zephyrine, we want to say thank you so very much. And as you said, the UE is a community, and we're certainly going to be helping our valued students along every step of the way through this journey called university. Dr. Zephyrine said, you don't have to know everything, and that is absolutely true. You have a wealth of experts, persons with a wealth of knowledge on campus across offices that certainly will help you through. All right, so Dr. Zephyrine, thank you so very much. And students, that you enjoy that presentation. We are going to be moving across to from our team from faculty. And I think this is an opportune time, students, for you to show some faculty love in the chat. Let us know which faculty you are from. And yes, I am looking out here in the chat to see who's repping engineering, who's repping food and agriculture, who's repping humanities and education, who's here for science and technology, who's here for medical sciences, who's here for law, who's here for sport, who's here for social sciences. Yes, we're getting the comments coming through. We have lots of persons on from the various faculties. And of course, we are very, very happy to have you. Wow, the chat is on fire, as we say, on fire this afternoon, right? So we're getting that faculty love coming through. And so it's a good segue into our next segment. I am so very happy to have the support of faculty leaders and experts on with us this afternoon, and we are talking academic readiness, more specifically academic advising, a very important process that you will soon come to know. So students, what's going to happen at this point? You would receive or should have received an invitation to join a breakout session. At that breakout session, you will meet with members of your faculty. So we want you to join the faculty that's specific to you. Great. So I think we are back for the most part, but we want to say thank you so much for staying with us. So this brings us to the end of today's program. I want to sincerely thank all of the faculty representatives here today, our deputy deans, our administrative assistants, etc. I want to say thank you so very much for spending this time with our students. Students, I hope that this information was useful. In fact, I know it was. I stepped in on some of the rooms and I heard the discussion going on and hearing the questions, and this is what Smart Start is about. It's meeting your early informational demands. So I want to say thank you again, colleagues from the faculties. Thank you so very much for spending this time with students. Students, as mentioned before, you don't have to get every single thing in one day. FYE is certainly meant to support you through this transition process, all right? So we are going to break the information up in different chunks just to ensure that you get comfortable with it. I see someone is asking, when is the last session of Smart Start? So we're actually going to conclude Smart Start next Thursday. And I'm happy to report that next Thursday, we're going to have an open Q&A. So next Thursday, we're not going to do a presentation. It's just open Q&A. We know that you still have lots of questions. So for all of the offices that would have been represented over the last 4 weeks, including the Gate office, we will have representatives here next Thursday, and you get a final chance. I don't want to say a final chance, but you get yet another opportunity to just ask any questions that you may have. So I'm seeing that we have some questions here as well about recordings. Of course, our FYE YouTube channel continues to remain available to you. And of course, the recordings are there for you to view. So last week's session would have already been uploaded. And of course, today's session, you will be able to see that content on our YouTube channel in just a few days. All right, so at this point, I want us to turn our attention to what should be our last video for this afternoon before we wrap. And it's just a reminder of the must-dos for FYE. So we have 5 top must-dos as it relates to your participation in the FYE program. And we are going to share that with you at this point as a reminder. that, I want to bring our session this afternoon formally to a close. Students, we are here again for our last Smart Start session next week, Thursday. And of course, we head into July where we get even more action, and August. You get an opportunity to meet now with faculties, and you get your faculty orientation among other activities that we have planned for you as part of FYE. So again, on behalf of the entire UWI St. Augustine campus, everyone that's here today, we say thank you for participating in Smart Start, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Thank you.